Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope all of you are fine. Me too, I'm fine. I'm very much excited that today I've got a chance to have a class, and I believe all my students are sitting in front of the laptops or the computers or the mobiles that you have. All of you pay full cooperation, listen each and every points and try to understand each and every topics. So today I have come forward to discuss the chapter 5, diseases. You all know that these diseases are certain abnormal conditions of a part, organ or system of a human being. Whenever we fall ill, we used to go and meet a doctor, and after we meet the doctor used to say that I am suffering from this disease or that disease. So it's known to us, but do you know how many types of diseases are there? There are many different kinds of diseases, but out of all these diseases, amongst all these diseases are classified into two types. They are communicable and non-communicable diseases. So, what are these communicable diseases? Communicable diseases are those diseases which can spread or which can be passed on from one person to another person very easily. As we know, these germs, they are able to move from one place to another place. So, these germs, they move or they travel from one person's body to another person's body. So, if a person who is suffering from any kind of communicable disease, the germs from the affected person's body can travel to the person who is healthy, and the healthy person too suffers from the disease. Now, if we talk about non-communicable diseases, these non-communicable diseases are those diseases which do not pass on from one person to another person. But you might be thinking how these non-communicable diseases are caused. It is caused due to various reasons like bad habits, smoking and pollution. Now, as we know that diseases are of many types, so we are going to discuss a kind of a disease known as deficiency diseases. So, this deficiency, the word deficiency means lack or shortage, So, from the word deficiency disease, we can understand that lack or shortage of certain types of things leads to deficiency diseases. So, these deficiency diseases are mostly caused due to lack of certain nutrients in the diet, and a diet that we have every day is the food that we have every day. You might be taking food every day, and if the food that you take every day contains all the nutrients, then you might be we might be saying that you are having a balanced diet. You may have a good health, your body will be healthy, you may not suffer from any kind of diseases. So, we know there are different types of diseases which are caused due to lack of certain nutrients. As we know, there are 5 nutrients which are required by a body, and all these nutrients are very important for our body. Out of the 5 nutrients, that are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. Out of these 5 nutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals, we know that these 3, carbohydrates, fats and proteins, these are the 3 nutrients which are required by our body in large quantity. But the last 2 nutrients, that is the vitamins and the minerals, these are the 2 nutrients which are required by our body in small quantity. So, how these diseases are caused? How these nutritional deficiency diseases are caused? At the time when there is lack or shortage of, for example, any of these nutrients in the body, then we may suffer from this nutritional deficiency diseases. Deficiency of carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Let's learn about the causes or the problems that a person faces at the time when deficiency of carbohydrates, fats and proteins takes place in a body. We know these carbohydrates and fats are the nutrients which are required by a body in large quantity, and it is required by a body to give energy. We need energy for our body to do each and every activity in our life. Each and every activity that we do in our life requires energy. So, to get the energy, we need these carbohydrates and fats. And from where we get these carbohydrates and fats? We get these carbohydrates and fats from the food that we take. If we take foods like cereals, potatoes, fruits and sweet things, then it will provide us carbohydrates, and if we take foods like oils, butter, ghee and nuts, it will provide fats. So, these carbohydrates and fats are those nutrients which helps in giving energy to our body. The carbohydrate, it provides for energy and it is used up to do the activities in our body, but the energy which is provided by the fats is stored in our body. At times when we feel very hungry, that we are not able to take food on time, so the energy which is stored in the form of fats in our body is used up. Many persons who do not get enough to eat, they become so thin that we can even see the bones. And if we talk about the protein, protein is a very important nutrient which is required by our body for the growth and repairment. It is also known as the building block of our body. We get these proteins from the foods like pulses, milk products, eggs, meat and fishes. If we don't have this protein in our body, especially small children may not grow properly. They may not have growth, or they may not have repairment of the broken tissues or wounded parts in the body. For example, you fell down at the time of running and you got hurt in your knee. Bleeding took place, but after some days what happens is that it gets cured. We know it very well. After taking some medicines, or even if we don't take medicines, with the passage of time it gets cured. Why? Because of the presence of this protein. Proteins helps in the repairment of the tissues. But if there is shortage or lackage or deficiency of protein in the body, a person will not have growth or repairment. The stomach may become swollen, especially in case of small children. We find the stomach becomes swollen if they don't have protein, or elder children and adults may also have patchy skin and discolored hair. Patchy skin means you might have seen the fishes. At the time when we throw the scales of the fishes, we find that skin looks quite odd. So, such type of skin may be called as a patchy skin. So, and in cases, especially some old persons or some young persons also, some of your friends also, you might have seen that their hair has become white in color when he has not grown all yet till now. So you may say that maybe he is suffering from this, he is having some deficiency of protein in his body, so the color of the hair gets discolored. Now we are going to discuss some of the deficiency diseases or the problems related to some of the vitamins. As we have discussed regarding these three, now we will discuss about the vitamins, then minerals. The body needs many types of vitamins named as A, B, C and so on. Let us begin with vitamin A. This vitamin A is a very important nutrient which is good for our eyes. In order to have a good eyesight or to have a good vision, we need to have vitamin A in our body. So, how to get this vitamin A in our body? Of course, we are taking different types of food. From the food that we take, if it contains vitamin A, then we can get it vitamin A in our body. So, you need to know those foods which contains vitamin A. Yellow and orange fruits, vegetables, leafy vegetables, milk, butter and eggs. These are the foods which provides vitamin A. if a person do not have vitamin A in his body, he may suffer from a disease called night blindness. So, what is this night blindness? Night blindness is a nutritional deficiency disease which is caused due to lack or shortage of vitamin A in the body. So, it's a disease in which a person fails to see well in dim light. For example, you can say candlelight. Suppose in your room you have sat for study and suddenly the current or the power went. So, what you will do? You will light a candle or you will light a lantern. So, the power of the light won't be like the current or the power that you get from the bulb. Yes. So, such a light can be called as dim light. So, if a person who has such diseases, what we call as night blindness, he will not be able to see well. Next topic that we have is regarding vitamin B. So, what is this vitamin B? Vitamin B is also another very important nutrient. It is needed for the proper functioning of the body. If you don't have proper functions in your body, then you will not be able to feel any comfortness in your body. You may feel discomfort. So, this vitamin B is specially required for the proper functioning of the body. Suppose you have taken the food, your food has not got digested. So, what will happen? You will feel pain in your stomach, yes? Or if you have not able to do toilet this morning, then what will happen? Then also your stomach will start paining. So, there are certain functions which needs to be performed through their own processes. So, to have control and to let all the processes run properly in our body, we need these vitamins. So, one of it is vitamin B. We get this vitamin B from foods like cereals, pulses, milk, meat, fish, eggs and fishes. And if a person lacks or has deficiency of vitamin B, then he may cause or he may suffer from a disease called beriberi. It's a disease which is very serious. Okay, it's a disease of the nerves and the muscles, in which we find scaly skin and sores in the mouth. You might have seen a person, all persons, or sometimes you might have seen small children also. So, especially they may have sores in the mouth. They look quite ugly. So, it is due to lack of vitamin B. The next vitamin that I am going to discuss is vitamin C. This vitamin C, it protects us from various diseases. Now, you might be thinking, what type of diseases can be protected by this vitamin C? There are many diseases. We can say like, for example, you are having sores in your mouth. You are having sores in the mouth, or you are not able to eat properly. So, if you have such type of diseases, you can take this vitamin C, because it can also protect from such diseases. We can get this vitamin C from oranges, lemons, guava, tomato, pineapple, amla and many more. Or you can even take fruits that contains vitamin C. For example, lemon, tamarind. These are some of the fruits which contains vitamin C. If a person do not have this vitamin C in his body, then what will happen? He may suffer from a disease called scurvy. It's a disease in which the gums starts bleeding, the teeth become wobbly and the joints starts itching. That means the joints that we have in our body starts paining. Okay, we have got joint itches, we may have joint itches, we may have bleeding from our gums, or the teeth become wobbly. Lastly, I shall discuss about vitamin D and calcium. You know that this vitamin D and calcium, these are two different things. Calcium is a mineral and vitamin D is a vitamin. Vitamin D is very important for our strong bones and teeth. Along with this vitamin D, calcium is also very important for having strong bones and teeth. We get this vitamin D as well as calcium from milk products, eggs, some green vegetables, and vitamin D and calcium medicines. If we don't have this vitamin D or calcium in the body, then what will happen is that our bones may become very weak. As we have learned that this vitamin D and calcium helps in giving us strong teeth and bones. If we don't have these vitamins and calcium, then what will happen? Our bones may go very weak and we may not be able to walk properly. Especially in small children, we find that small children suffer from a disease called rickets. Rickets. So this rickets is a disease in which the bones of the leg gets bent due to the weakage of their bones. Lastly, the last nutrient that we have is the minerals. If we talk about the minerals, then there are many minerals. I shall discuss about some of the minerals. They are iron and iodine. Iron is a very important mineral which is required by a body in small quantity. It's required by a body because it helps in making blood for our body. Our body needs to make blood. So for this we need this iron. We get this iron from leafy vegetables, cereals, meats, eggs and many more. Iron deficiency may lead to a disease called anemia. This anemia is a disease which is caused due to deficiency of iron, and it's a disease in which people feel tired and weak and lose their appetite. Nextly, we have this iodine as a mineral. If we have this iodine in the body, then it helps in keeping our body very healthy. We get this iodine from seafoods. Most of the seafoods, fishes and all, we can say, that we get from the sea, or many other foods that we get from the sea. Spinach, as you all know, which we always used to take it. It is given in the picture that you have in your book. Spinach is a leafy vegetable. All these have got iodine. And don't forget that the salt that you take, this salt, if it is iodized, then you may consider that it has iodine in it. If the salt is not iodized, that means it is not filled with iodine, or it doesn't have iodine in it. So always prefer iodized salt because it contains iodine. If you don't have this iodine in your body, or if there is deficiency of iodine in your body, then you may suffer from a disease called goiter. You might have seen some people who have got a swelling in their neck, So this ball-like swelling that they have in their neck is caused due to deficiency of iodine, and the name of the disease is called goiter. Now we are going to discuss how diseases are spread. How these diseases are spread. There might be many reasons for the spreading of diseases. Diseases can spread through air, diseases can spread through food and water, or even these diseases can also spread through mosquitoes, or it can also spread through touch or contact with the things that we use every day. So let us discuss one by one. Diseases can spread through air. Diseases spreading through air. Common cold, flu, measles, chickenpox and tuberculosis. These are some of the diseases which can spread through air. Now, how these diseases are spread through air? For example, a person who is suffering from common cold or flu, he was sneezing and he was coughing. At the time when he will be sneezing and coughing, if he doesn't use any handkerchief, and the person who is just standing next to him, who is a healthy person who don't have any diseases, who is not suffering from any kind of diseases, then at the time when the person will cough or sneeze without using handkerchief, then the germs may travel from his mouth or nose to the healthy person's body at the time when he will breathe in. In this way, diseases can spread through air. You might have learnt that the diseases that spread through air are not only common cold and flu, these are measles, chickenpox and tuberculosis also. This tuberculosis is a disease which can also spread through air. This tuberculosis can be written as TB in short, not the television that you watch at home. Diseases spread through food and water. How these diseases can spread through food and water? We know that at the time when we go for taking any kind of food or water, we always prefer clean, hygienic food, clean, hygienic and healthy food. Why? Because this food helps in giving energy, it helps in keeping us good health. Yes, so the food that we take should always be clean, hygiene and hygienic. But if we go on taking unhygienic food or which is not cleaned, suppose your mom has cooked food for you and it was kept uncovered, so will you go for taking that uncovered food? No, at all, not at all. You will not go for taking that. If you see that the food was kept uncovered and a cockroach was sitting on the food, you will not take at all. Yes, but sometimes when you are in hurry, you just go for taking the food. You might have not, you may not have seen the cockroach sitting on the food. By the time when you came to take the food, there was nothing on the plate. No cockroach was there. So you may take, yes or not? Yes. So we should not do such things. We should always take foods that are covered. Our food should be kept in clean utensils and it should be kept covered. If you go on taking clean and covered food, then we may not suffer from any kind of diseases like typhoid, dysentery or jaundice. These typhoid, dysentery and jaundice, these are the foods which are caused due to contaminated food and water. If the food that we take is contaminated or the water that we take is contaminated, then surely we may suffer from dysentery, typhoid or jaundice. Diseases can also spread through the mosquitoes. You all know that these mosquitoes are very small in size. These mosquitoes, whenever it sits on the body of a person, what does it do? It perches on the skin and it sucks the blood from our body. Am I right? Yes. So these mosquitoes, when they sit on the body, with the help of a tube-like mouth, what we call as proboscis. This proboscis is the tube-like mouth of the mosquito which helps in sucking the blood from the body of a person. All the mosquitoes do not spread diseases. If you talk about mosquito, then the female Anopheles mosquito is the mosquito which causes diseases like malaria and dengue. With the help of their tube-like mouth known as proboscis, they used to bite on the person's body, and the person who is suffering from malaria or dengue, they used to suck the blood, and when the same mosquito goes and sits on a healthy person's body and sucks the blood from the healthy person's body, at that very time the germs that the mosquito was carrying on his proboscis, it gets transferred to the healthy person's body. In this way, a healthy person gets affected by malaria. Diseases can also spread through touch or contact. We know that many of us, we use different types of things every day. If any one of us starts suffering from any kind of skin diseases, say for example, Mehboob, you are suffering from skin disease. So you may think that he is suffering from skin disease. That means if I go and sit near him, what will happen? I may also suffer from skin disease. Yes, you are right if you think so, because these skin diseases can spread very easily through contact or through the things used by the person who is suffering from the disease. If he is using the pen and he is suffering, if he is suffering from the disease and he is using the same pen, then what will happen? The same pen, if is used by another friend, then what will happen? The other friend will also get affected by the same skin disease. So we should be careful about all such diseases and take preventive measures regarding such diseases. Skin diseases like flu, common cold and tuberculosis may often spread through contact with the things used by the person. Now, the things used by a person, it may be a doorknob, or it may be the utensils, or the cup, the plate, or the spoons what the affected person is using, handles, railings, or the buses. You might be very careful when you go for traveling from one place to other place. If you are coming from a long distance to school, sitting on a passenger vehicle like buses and auto rickshaws and all, you should be careful, because we know many passengers used to sit, and all the passengers, it doesn't mean that they are not suffering from any kind of disease. They may suffer from skin disease also. So if you sit on the same vehicle, you may also get affected. So we should try to take some preventive measures. Now let us bring forward some preventive measures that we need to follow or we need to obey to protect ourselves from various types of diseases. First point, we must always be careful about the food and water that we drink. Drinking water must be boiled or purified in proper water filters. Food must be stored in clean covered utensils, and we must not eat uncovered food or food sold nearby the roadsides vendors. We should wash our hands before eating, and we should also wash the fruits, especially some of you, I know that when your father brought grapes or apples or some oranges and all for you from the market, you become so happy that you don't even bother that whether it is clean or dirty. So you directly go and start taking it without washing it. So you need to be careful. You need to wash those fruits and then you need to take it. The second point that we need to obey or follow is using of handkerchiefs. At the time when we suffer from common cold or flu and all, we used to sneeze and cough a lot. So while sneezing and coughing, if we use handkerchief, what will happen is that we can prevent the disease from getting spread. Next point, we should keep our surroundings clean and should not throw any kind of garbages nearby our houses. So if you avoid throwing waste or any kind of garbages in our surrounding, then what will happen? Our surrounding will be neat and clean, and it will be free from any kind of diseases, and we may not suffer from any sort of disease. Next point that we can observe or we can obey is that near our locality, even in our homes also, we might be having these drains and all for letting the dirty water pass through it from the toilets. So these drains and all, hardly we used to clean it, yes or not? Or we might have seen some stagnant pools, that means a place where the water always remains collected throughout the year. So these stagnant pools, what happens is that many mosquitoes used to lay their eggs, and even in the drains also, and some harmful diseases are caused due to such places. So we need to take care of such diseases by taking some preventive measures. If we spray some pesticides in the stagnant pools, then what will happen? The eggs which are laid by the mosquitoes will not be able to get oxygen and it will die. It will not reproduce. And one other technique is by pouring kerosene over water. If you pour kerosene also, it can kill the larvae and pupae of mosquitoes, because kerosene, it does not let air enter the water, so the mosquitoes will not be able to breed. Spraying pesticides or pouring kerosene over drains and stagnant pools is another preventive measures which is very much effective right at present in our society. We know that in our society, in each and every houses, we need to sleep by using the mosquito nets. If you sleep without using the mosquito net, then what will happen? You will not be able to sleep at all. Yes, I am right. You are using mosquitoes, I think. If you are not using mosquito nets, then you will surely be bitten by the mosquito. So, these mosquitoes, if we need to prevent ourselves from these mosquitoes, then what we need to do? We need to spray kerosene or certain types of pesticides, okay, to kill these mosquitoes as well as some harmful germs. So, even after having these preventive measures, most of us we know we don't obey or we don't follow. But from now onwards, I believe that my students, you will be obeying and you will try to prevent yourself by following the steps that I have set. But sometimes you might find some persons who are suffering from any of such diseases like malaria or polio. Then what we need to do is that you may suggest the person to have vaccinated. So, vaccination camps are organized in our places every year to prevent very many persons suffering from different types of diseases. Vaccines are certain types of injections or medicines which we give to patients to get cured from different types of diseases and germs, or to protect the person from germs and diseases. For example, polio drops. Every year these polio drops are given to small babies to protect us from diseases throughout their life. So, these are the vaccines which we need to take. Likewise, many vaccines are given for different diseases like typhoid and diphtheria, which we need to take if we want to prevent ourselves from such type of diseases. All babies, they should be vaccinated against diseases like tuberculosis, measles, whooping cough and diphtheria. So, right after a baby is born nowadays in various hospitals, we find that they were given different types of vaccinations against tuberculosis, measles, whooping cough, diphtheria, polio and so on. So, we should go on following the preventive measures to prevent ourselves from various types of diseases, and at times when it is required, we should get vaccinated. Thank you all. Thank you.